In this video, we're going to look at a step-by-step framework that you can follow to increase your conversions on Shopify. Very simple. Feel free to follow along with this video. We're going to break this down step by step. So the first thing that you want to do when it comes to improving your conversions on your Shopify website or your e-commerce website is really focusing on that product page. This is a key area of your website. It's where customers are able to see individual products that you sell, learn more about those products, and really get the information needed to create a buying decision. And so, when it comes to your product page, some things that you want to look at is first that initial header. Make sure that it's describing the product. Make sure that it's clear, it's easy to understand. Again, we're just trying to make things as clear as possible. So the initial title of the product, the page title, whatever that may be, make sure that it's clear and easy to understand. The next thing is your product images, and this is key because unlike a physical store where you can walk in and feel the product, test it out, with an online store, you can't do that. And so the images are the next best way for a customer to really understand your product and see if it's something that can fit them. So with your images, you want to one make sure that you have as many images as possible. Have them in different positions. Maybe you have them in a lifestyle setting, so they're being used by somebody. Maybe have them in different environments. For instance, have them maybe on a table or in a background or among other items. But if you have them in different positions, then customers are able to see that item in different layouts as opposed to just one still image of the product. Also, if you can have it in different angles, so maybe like a front image, a back image, to the side, from far away, from close up, all around, so that customers are able to see the different angles. Next is, of course, the benefits. What are some of the benefits of this product? How can this product benefit me in my life? You really want to make sure to include those points there on your product page. You can include them in the description. A lot of e-commerce stores like to have accordions as well. Accordions are basically those drop downs where if you click it, it drops down and shows more information. You click the arrow again, it pops up, and it has those different kind of drawers or accordions that pop up with different information there. And then, of course, a clear call to action. Most of the time, something simple like add to cart. You want to make sure you have that on your product page. And so, again, making it clear, making it convincing. You really don't want to confuse customers, but audit your product pages and make sure that you have these pointers in there. The next thing is making sure that you have social proof and trust. This is where reviews, policies, trust icons, contact information, all these steps are key. If a customer, especially if they come to your website for the first time, maybe they found you through an ad or through social media, and they're looking around the site and they really want to, get a clear understanding of your your website. I know for me, sometimes if you're on Instagram, you'll see a brand, they may run an ad, and then you click on the brand to see, oh, okay, I like this product, let me check it out, see more information. And you go through the product page, you might scroll through the home page, but a lot of times I know what I'm looking for is what other people have said. What are some of their policies when it comes to like returns or shipping, things like that. This helps build trust. And again, you want to add as many points as possible to your website so that customers can trust you. Um, Remove any of those doubts, and so adding those reviews, making sure you have those policies displayed on your website, giving customers a clear way to contact you, all very important. That actually kind of leads us on nicely into the third point, which is removing that buyer friction, making sure that your website is fast. Do you have a lot of apps that are bloating your website? Do you have a lot of apps doing the same thing? If you have two, three, four apps doing the same thing, this could lead to slowing down your website. So, again, you want to make sure that you're taking care of those things. Also, are your images getting lazy loaded? Things like that, to really improve the speed as much as possible. And then if you have different developers working on your theme, you really want to make sure that the code is optimized as well, to assist with your speed. A lot of times, certain code or certain scripts that are implemented into a theme can slow down the website. And so you want to make sure if any functionality or features have been built into the theme, they're built in a way that doesn't affect the overall speed of the site. Also, with regards to navigation, how clear is your navigation? A lot of bigger stores with a lot of uh, who have higher amount of SKUs on their site, they're going to have mega menus and um, you know different sections on their menu. So again, making sure that your menus are easy to follow. If you have multiple collections or maybe even sub collections built in, audit your navigation menu. Look to see, okay, if a customer hovers over this section here, more than likely other sections will pop up. But is it easy to find specific products and specific items? All that is important as well, to be able to audit the navigation, making sure that it's easy to follow. And then things like checkout, hidden costs as well. Those need to be highlighted. For instance, if there's a fee that gets implemented into the site, you have to make sure to implement that somewhere on the cart page or the checkout page or even on the product page, going back to policies here, right? You don't want it to be where maybe there's a fee or something that gets added for a specific product, but then you don't highlight that until checkout. And then all of a sudden customers are confused because they didn't see that item originally when they first added the product to the cart. That can again cause drop offs and customers not purchasing. So you want to make sure that any hidden costs, um, anything like that, gets mentioned on the product page as early as possible to really make it an effortless buying process and reduce as much friction as possible. Moving on to point four, looking at your offer, things like free shipping, bundles, discounts, guarantees. Um, Bundles are a great way to increase AOV, especially if you have multiple items that go together or they kind of are seamed together in a way that it makes sense for customers to buy these products hand in hand. A lot of different useful bundle apps out there on Shopify that can help set this up for you. Um, but again, it's a great way to implement and just test it out. See if bundles are working. Playing around with different bundles. You can either create the bundles yourself and let customers purchase it as a bundle. A lot of brands are doing this, or you can add the option. There's a lot of apps out there like Skio that allow customers to create their own bundle and then purchase it that way. So you can again you can play around with the different options and see what makes sense for you there. Discounts, guarantees, those are all good things to include as well. Now going back to free shipping, there are some apps where, let's say you have free shipping after a customer purchases or has more than $70 worth of product in their cart. There's free shipping apps out there that will actually show it in the cart or on the cart page or the cart drawer. It will show how much the customer has to reach that $70 threshold. And so that's a cool way as well to, um, you know, create an incentive. For instance, if shipping is going to be $15 and my order is already $55, that $15 would get me to $70 anyways. And so if they can see that visually in the cart drawer or in the cart page, that could, really help with increasing purchases as well. So those are all kind of things to look at, things to test out. Feel free to take a look at some of those apps out there and see what might make sense there for your brand, just to test out. Now, this point five is so important and so key. It's data. Data is everything when you're trying to make improvements and increase conversions. Shopify has good data metrics for you to look at. If you have Google Analytics set up, that's good as well. Heat maps, things like Hotjar, and some of these other tools out there um, to see kind of user behavior and how customers are interacting with the website. It's so important, especially if you have a top item, that this is your top two or three items that customers are purchasing on the website. If you want to make tweaks, if you want to make improvements, you need that data to be able to see, okay, how long are customers staying on this page for? Um, Maybe are they not scrolling past a certain point? If so, why? Maybe is it because this section here is a little bit confusing, or we have such a large gap that customers think there's nothing else when they scroll. If customers are maybe only staying on the page or staying on the site for 2 seconds and they drop off, why is that? Is our headline, is it not big enough? Maybe we need to make it a bolder font. Maybe we need to make pricing bigger. Maybe we need to make our buttons more prominent so that customers can actually see it. So having this data gives you the opportunity to break these pages down and break down all of the different patterns in your website to make informed decisions as opposed to just guessing. And so using that data is so key. And then going to point six now is testing. Now, again, with e-commerce and building an online business in general, it's never a set and forget thing. You're constantly testing, making improvements to see what works. And so following these steps here test out different things. If you're using a tool like Intelligence, which is an A/B testing tool, feel free to test as many tests as you can. See, okay, maybe do we need to test out the different layout, or maybe test out something as small as an announcement bar. Um, Test out, okay, maybe this announcement versus this announcement, or maybe test out no shipping versus free shipping at this threshold, or maybe testing out free shipping at $50 versus free shipping at $100. Maybe on our PDP, we test out adding trust banners versus no trust banners, or maybe adding reviews right under the add to cart button, maybe testing versus adding reviews lower down the page. So, little tweaks like this, little updates like this, instead of just going in and redesigning the whole thing, test little changes, improve slowly, and constantly look at making updates and improvements to your website. And something else that I like doing when working with brands, and something that I always recommend, is look at what other brands are doing. It doesn't even have to be in your niche per se, but if you can kind of look at what other brands are doing and see, okay, maybe I like this on the product page, or I like how they've set up their policy page, or this how it works section really looks good for this brand. Maybe I like how this brand implemented their bundles, or they are offering free gifts in this way. How can we implement that to our brand? So as you're constantly looking at different brands, you're constantly making iterations. You keep a list of things that you like. That way, you're constantly improving your website as well. So hopefully, this gave you an idea of some things that you can do to improve conversions on your Shopify website. If you're looking for help, if you want an expert to take a look at your site and see ways that you can make improvements, or um, see ways that you can adjust things to improve conversions. If you're looking for maybe a development partner to help out with development of your Shopify theme, or to help with CRO test, that's something that we're doing as well. If you're looking for ways to implement AI and see how can we use AI to streamline processes or to improve our site, we're doing a lot of cool stuff. So feel free to check us out. The link to our website is down below. Feel free to see some of the cool projects that we're working on, read some of the reviews of what other people have said about us, and let's have a conversation. We'd love to see how we can help out your brand. We're working with a lot of small and medium sized e-commerce brands right now, really to help streamline their processes, improve conversions. Um, and yeah, so if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to have a conversation. And I do hope this video was helpful. But yeah, once again, if there's anything at all, if you have any questions, if you're looking for tips on improving the conversion of your website, please feel free to reach out.